The logo features the number 25 to mark Sasafi's 25th anniversary, celebrating its legacy of excellence. A person holding a torch, inspired by the original Sasafi logo, represents the passing of knowledge and passion from past to present, honoring those who paved the way while inspiring the next generation. The rising stars symbolize young talents who are guided by the achievements of Sasafi Hall of Famers, echoing the slogan, "A legacy built, a future inspired." Laurel leaves reflect victory and recognition, highlighting the accomplishments of athletes, coaches, and leaders over the years. Lastly, the eagle head represents strength, vision, and forward movement, capturing Sasafi's commitment to growth and excellence for future generations.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Sasafi Esports League Season 4. We are here live at CIT University. And before we start with the game, we're going to be watching a very exciting match between CIT University and UPC Fighting Maroons. But before we continue, we'd love to introduce ourselves. Games may be fantastical, but I will be here. I will be your voice. My name is Mr. N Radical. Here, joined with...
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Ferraris, the caster that keeps adding fuel to your fire. And I'm here and excited for the match about to come through. But of course, before that, Raj, we also have our wonderful, wonderful sponsors.
Our sponsor, Virginia. Basta hot dog,
Virginia.
PLDT and Smart. Smart, live more today. PLDT.
Leading and inspiring Filipinos to a brighter tomorrow.
As well as PC Express for all your digital needs, and Crayon Lab, your one-stop shop for premium prints and custom designs.
And of course, we can't forget about our venue sponsor, the Cebu Institute of Technology University.
Thank you so much for lending us your wonderful venue to host and hold in CEL Season 4.
Yeah. And of course, we can't forget about our Smart Sports and Puso P.
Catch every clash, every play, and every victory at Sasafi Esports League. Stream it live through our official media partners, Puso Pilipinas and Smart Livestream app. And as we take a look here at the games that we've had this entire day, has been a very, very big turn of events. But right now, we are going to be playing match 4.
Yeah, for a little bit of a catch-up on the how the day went. We have a match 1 ending up in a draw between USJ-R and USPF. Match 2 ending up in a very decisive victory here for the University of Cebu, Lapu-Lapu, Mandaue. And for match 3, once again, we have another draw between CIT-U and UC Main. And now for our match 4, our 4th and final match of the day, we have the UPC Fighting Maroons up against the CIT-U Wildcats.
Now, I'm kind of seeing a pattern between... I'm seeing a trend in the games today, no? It's like draw, sweep, draw, sweep. We don't know. We can't tell. But looking at the standings, we see UCLM here, top with 2 wins. That's 2 sweep. And here, the contending teams for today's match is CIT-U and UPC. Both having... like 1 win all, right?
Yeah, they're currently tied with 1 win apiece. So, considering that they are matching up, this will shape up the standings after the result of this match. And if we take a look over at Group B,
we have USPF dominating all the way at the top, as well as UC Main with 1 win and 1 draw. That's 4 points. CIT-U, 2 draws and one loss. They were able to really snag up that map from from the match they had today, as well as USJ-R standing still with 2 draws, and CEC at the last place being having 2 losses.
Yeah, unfortunately, not the best start for CEC, but
We're
with the-
hoping to see some more from them.
yeah, as the season progresses. But here at our 4th match of the day, it's going to be a clash for the summit.
Now, this is going to be an exciting match since both teams are contending for first seed of
Yeah.
Group A. They both have like 1 wins all,
Yeah.
and now it's time for them to defend their spot and claim their victory, their glory, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. And whoever will end up winning this matchup, of course, will be tied with UCLM for that number 1 spot, which of course is a very, very good position considering that Group A is a very, very heated group.
They have some of the really toughest contenders out there. Fast executions, really good, great control plays as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the game right now underway, Raj, it's a very big task for these 2 teams. Very big challenge. A lot at stake here. I mean, winning here could tie you up here for the top seed of your group, and that will knit you a very strong standing for the remainder of the regular or the group stage, I should say.
And we can definitely say that each team has their own stakes.
Yeah.
One wants to defend their
Title.
glory, their title, while
Yeah.
the other one has something to prove. But enough of that, let us pass it on to our host for the Inside Chica, Nika.
Thank you so much for that, casters. You know what, guys? It's really a turn of events here at LROC because earlier we experienced a power disruption, but
Yup.
thankfully the CIT-U was really quick to provide a generator for the CEL, and with that,
Thank you so much
CIT-U
for that.
community, we're so thankful for that support. And now let's back to the game. You know what, guys? Earlier when I talked to the CIT-U, they said that Nico Baby won't be here, won't be playing today, but suddenly he showed up with eagerness to play. And let's see if he'll be playing later.
Now, as of now, there's still we still have no idea if Nico Baby would be playing. But he was showing so much energy here a while ago while he was being interviewed. He was jumping. He was so enthusiastic, wanting to play. But maybe the coaches for CIT-U are opting to make him rest a little more, gain some more strength before they send Nico out.
I mean, yeah, it is and the player of Nico Baby's caliber, you know, is pretty high up there, considering that he is a very good player, and you wouldn't want a player to come back prematurely without fully recovering.
Exactly.
You could risk, injuring yourself once again, or even like
Underperforming.
You could risk underperforming and just like risk the chance of you like even worsening your condition.
Yeah. But knowing that Nico Baby might not be playing in today's match, we're wondering who would be subbing Nico Baby.
According to them, we have Almera, which is a one. Yeah, we have Almera who will be subbing for him.
Almera.
I
I
see.
heard that he is kind of a one-trick
Yoru.
Yoru. Very familiar here.
I was also a one-trick Yoru main, but then I'm washed up now, so...
Guys, on the side of the Scholars ng Bayan, they cheerfully said for us to expect a new Fighting Maroon this season.
We're expecting a new Fighting Maroons.
Yeah.
They most definitely have enhanced the foundations of their team, and we're seeing this underdog rising up against that summit, contending with the best teams for this season.
I mean, yeah, considering that the majority of the team, or like 80% of the team, is still the same
I know, the
core
same
from
old, yeah.
the previous season, and now they've only inserted like 2 new additions, very solid additions, might I add, in Caroling and Daryl, who have kind of stepped up for the team in their previous match, but now this time they're going to be facing off against none other than the defending champions.
That's going to be not a really steep ask. They have really proven themselves. They have shown that they have the ability and that they are deserving to contend with the best of the best. But today is the match that they can finally prove themselves.
Guys, that's it from my side. Now, can we introduce our players?
Yes, of course.
Of course. Let us see our players for today's match.
For our fourth match of Week 3, let us welcome the UPC Fighting Maroons and the CIT-U Wildcats. Players, you may now take your pose. As a show of sportsmanship, our players will shake hands in honor of a clean and proper game. Players, you may now commence the handshake. Alright, CL fans, the spotlight shifts to the main stage. The pressure's on and only the boldest would rise to the top. Guiding us through the upcoming match, let us call in our fantastic Mr. and Radical and the fuel to our fire, Ferraris. Casters, take it away.
Yeah,
And
of
now
course.
we're back. We're here with the lineup for UPC, Aggie, Stein, Caroling, Constant, and as well as their IGL Kramen. Take it away, Ben.
Yeah, of course, this team, not much to add here outside of what we haven't said yet. The newer addition here, the one that has his eyes on the most is that newer member in the form of Caroling.
Yeah.
In that first match, he has stepped up to a point where he's able to match the output of the veteran presence or his veteran teammates in Constant, in Kramen, in Stein, in Aggie.
And that's something we definitely have to look out for, especially with newer additions to the team. They're senior, not senior members, but members who are the players who are already previously part of the team usually dictate the pace of the match. And Caroling, surprisingly and most commendably, has been able to catch up with that pace.
Yeah, he's just been able to seamlessly slot in and
That
be
says
a
a lot.
vital and be a vital piece in this already established UPC core. And now if we take a look at the other team on the other side, it is going to be the defending champions in the CIT-U Wildcats. But a big thing to point out here is that this team is the completely different team from that defending champion squad. New players, but somehow, some way, this new team, despite none of the veteran or none of the old guard remaining or being still here,
They have
they
the same
still
aura.
have repeated somewhat the same success here early on in the season, not dropping a single map just yet, with Jester, Orchid, Quincas, Nico Baby, and the final member there.
Micro.
Yeah,
and
Micro.
that really says a lot about the prowess of the teams that are playing for today. They have still retained the aura
Yeah.
of the defending champions, and it is going to be a very exciting match.
I mean, yeah, it is going to be a very exciting match. Both these teams have already gotten some time, some info on the other team.
Yep.
And with that being said, a big question is, what sort of maps are we going to be seeing here
that's
in this
something
match?
I'm going to be very curious about.
Yeah.
And as some insider info, it was basically handed out that Nico Baby will be playing a map that they have already practiced, and we see right here they're going to be they picked Haven,
Yeah.
but first map is going to be Pearl now.
Yeah, first map going to be Pearl, as we mentioned. We've already seen a few games here from UPC, and it makes sense that UPC did pick up this map once again, as they've already had success with it previously. And now CIT-U will have that luxury of picking their preferred side first, and they're opting to go for an attacking side. So I'm looking at this setup, and I'm hoping to see one of the more rising priority picks here as of late in VCT. I'm hoping to see some chamber picks. coming
Rendezvous.
here. Yeah, the Rendezvous, the Tour de Force as well. Very useful in those long engagements.
Yep.
From this from just the nature of Pearl itself, and having the trip that, unlike outside of Cypher, doesn't have a limit.
And speaking of the nature of the map, Pearl. Pearl is actually kind of a very dynamic map, but as we can take a look here, both teams with how they approach their plays, we have
Yeah, of course, we have the UPC
PC.
Fighting Maroons up here first with execute with precision, clean sight hits, and post-plant setups will be crucial. Of course, we've already seen a fraction of what UPC has to offer. This team, once again, very similar to their previous core. That core is still there. Very, very good at establishing, taking space and holding that space. But sometimes when they try and take that space, they're not able to conserve the utility. In the sense that, you know, a big
they've
part-
invested way too much
Yeah.
in the execute.
Yeah, they've invested way too much in taking space that they sometimes run short
Of
on,
holding.
on utility for the post plant and for trying to deny that retake and, you know, adapt quickly. Mid-game adjustments can outmaneuver CIT-U setups. And the CIT-U, they have a very solid setup. Even though it is a new guard, mind you, Nico Baby was actually from the previous guard. He wasn't part of that championship winning roster, but he was able to hold that CIT-U banner. So I'm pretty sure even though he's not playing currently, he's already passed down that knowledge that he got from the previous core to this new one.
So maybe they have that sort of mentor buff from the previous team, and that will somehow affect. Will that be the edge they need to be the team?
Yeah, that's a big question here. And of course, UPC starting off on that defending side. And a big pick up here as we have Vito in one of our games. And even though there is a bit of a photo and name, you know, mismatch here, it is going to be Stein on that KO. That suppress has so much value here paired up with the light speed from Aggie. And if we take a look at CIT-U, they're opting to go for that double duelist setup. They really want to take the fight to UPC. We've talked about it before that UPC have really good execs and retakes, but you know, CIT-U, if they can't, or if UPC can't set up where they're all in the same page and go for these executes, CIT-U can just make sure to not let them set up and just take the fight before UPC are ready for the engagement.
Yeah, and I agree, and I really am getting some kind of read with the agents that they are picking for this map, because as you said, the nature of Pearl rewards high risk, high reward plays, and we really see some sort of get out of jail card agents we have here. Now, usually Sentinels that are run on Pearl would usually be Chamber with his rendezvous, but we're seeing
No
a
Chamber here.
Vito play. No Chamber here,
No
but
Vito
we're
and
still
Killjoy.
seeing the same characteristics of the get out of jail free card, as well as Waylay with her refract. And here we have Neon, very not get out of jail card, but is able to mitigate a lot of that pressure with their movement. And
able to rotate fast, add that extra layer of support wherever it is needed. But the question right now, ladies and gentlemen, is who will win in the clash of the summit? Will it be UPC, CIT-U, or both teams
will meet
at the middle? Will meet at the middle.
Probably a draw.
Or is CEL the summit?
Summit.
Big question here, ladies and gentlemen. My votes on CEL is the summit. And right now, as you know, we almost have the lobby set up. Few more adjustments. The team's looking ready to go here as we start our first map in this final match of day 6.
And as we're going to be taking a look here, it's a really good thing to take early on mid control, and I am willing to bet that Killjoy would right there would be staying posted. Hunt would be going in there. Ben, how do you read this map? The way they're playing is going to go. What's the momentum you're trying to read here?
I mean, with that whole pickup, it just opens up the map here for CIT-U. That man advantage or that man pick-off was pretty crucial for the side of CIT-U, as the defenders being a man down, especially in a map like Pearl, where there are so many numerous entry points that you have to keep track of. It just constricts the fighting Maroons in what space they can hold and what space they can fight for.
It limits their it probably tunnels their vision a little bit, but nonetheless it says that we can still hold the place as long as they're able to read it right. But as we're taking a look, it's entering a site. Orchid takes another, takes two for his team. Constant goes down. Stars are falling. Mordred gets the plant, and the site is all ready for the CIT University. It's going to be a 2v5 situation with Caroling all the way on Art, and Kramen just sneaking a little bit on Flowers, hoping to catch somebody from main. Jester tries to peek through, finds Caroling, but no, Caroling takes down Jester. That will be a Nova Pulse right there. Mordred all the way on side. Mordred takes down Caroling, and as well as Almera takes down Kramen, and that will be the first round of this match.
First round going to the defending champions here. So far, no surprises as of how that round started. It was already a pretty big advantage for CIT-U to get that early pick off. And after that, it was just all going downhill for the side of UPC.
That was definitely what they need to allocate some of the attention of certain pressure points in the map of Pearl, especially since mid is quite a free-for-all map. It really dictates how much attention will be given to certain entry points.
Yeah, exactly. And now, with this second round, UPC full save here. No investments for this round outside of utility that they can carry on into the next. All classics for them, as they're most likely just looking to do some economical damage here. And both teams eyeing that same part of the map.
But it's looking
heavily
like
focus of mid.
and there's some pressure right there. Blind. Jester takes another. Mordred gets a kill, and Almera trades Constant. Jester finds a kill, and Almera will be closing the round with Caroling going down.
Big round there. A quick round for CIT-U. Not wasting any time on that anti-eco, as now UPC, with that, really, they just quickly sacked that round. Able to get a bit of a consolation prize, taking down two of the members of CIT-U. Did a little bit of economical damage, but in the grand scheme of things, this third round, it is still a pretty decent buy here for the side of CIT-U, as UPC, they need to hold down this aggression from the Wildcats.
And they have to win this round, or else they're going to have to go for a save. And we're seeing the Owl Drone trying to scout through A site. Orchid spots somebody holding backside. Mordred slowly creeping in. Caroling eliminates Mordred. And that will be a hard reset. They're trying to control themselves at the moment.
Yeah, they're stepping back here. UPC, they've done the damage, and they've made sure that CIT-U knows that this round is not going to be given up. Same as the last one. They're going to have to fight and earn this round. But Caroling is going to get challenged here with 3. The shock dart able to get that. The stun is used as well.
The stun is used, and Caroling is looking to find 3 right there. Gets 2 kills. Oh, and another. Caroling going for a 4K, and that will be the third round of this match. 1 going to University of the Philippines, Cebu.
Caroling, the new member for the side of UPC, stepping up in a big way here. Completely snaps the necks of CIT-U, and the Wildcats here running around headless, as all of those 3 kills were headshots. Excellent precision and assassination there from Caroling, as the Fighting Maroons look to tie us up here in this 4th round 2-all. But so far, it's the same story. A-Site is the name of the game.
Oh, Relay Bolt coming in with a recon dart. And that will be Jester just sizing up a fake out. Going into sight. And nobody bites.
Yeah, the pace slowed up here. Instant smokes here for the side of UPC, and setups being adjusted. But as of now, with that Vito already pushing for the flank, CIT UPC have a pretty good read on where the majority of CIT-R, but they're slowly backpedaling and setting their sights over towards mid. So it could be a pretty dangerous setup here for UPC if, of course, Kramen goes down.
Ooh, Kramen finds Mordred, doesn't get the kill. Mordred gets the pick off on Kramen, and that will be the disrupt coming in. Almera takes down Aggie. And CIT-U finally have control of A site.
Yeah, the spike goes down here in just a second. UP still with a man disadvantage, still 3 members strong here. Can they do something?
Ooh, finds Almera, but Jester will come in for the trade. Caroline goes down. Stein and Consent takes 2.
2v2.
And Jester all the way on Art. Ooh, completely almost gets the tap right there, but Consent will be peeking Mordred, and Mordred closes in the round. Stein goes down, and the 3rd point goes to CIT.
Oh, CIT, the nerves of steel here from the defending champions. You could see the maturity. You could see them luring in the Fighting Maroons into the fights that they want. It looked pretty good for the Fighting Maroons in that initial scrap, but Mordred and the rest of CIT-U, textbook post-plant gameplay there in a 2v2, peaking together, fighting together, and making sure, and if there is a fight to be taken, it is a fight in their favor.
And Aggie aggressing that relay bolt. Oh, gets blinded. Goes for the refract. Tries to get covered through on though, but Jester with the judge. Just trying to find a good hold that they can sink their teeth on. But that's Astra Star is all the way on A.
Now, UPC, after getting a little bit of contact on that A site, they've completely gone silent here for the side of CIT-U as they've shifted their sights towards this middle area as that drone spots out some info, pushing back a few members here. But Jester already making his way towards this B site, but there is no one home. There is still a threat on long though.
Kramen, oh, gets taken down by Mordred. Did not expect him to be there. And Jester will be running all the way through halls, just holding another angle with that judge. Orchid gets the plant, and that will be the site for CIT.
The spike slowly taken away here. UPC need to make their move. This is their last decent buy. After this, they will have to go for an eco round. But still, a very winnable situation here. But a big thing to consider is that Hunter's Fury on Orchid if needed.
Ooh! Jester takes Caroline down. Now he's going to be rushing all the way on towers, trying to find contact. Gets a classic on Stein, tags him.
Oh, he's toying with him.
He's trying.
He's toying
Playing with him, and he gets him with a judge. 4th point goes to CIT, and they haven't expended a single ultimate in that round.
Yeah, exactly. Stein realizing that he was just getting toyed around with there at the very end, just gets the knife out, accepts his fate. Once again, textbook post-plant here from CIT-U. Jester acting as distraction there, getting the crosshairs shifted towards him, and there you have it again. Stein just accepting his fate, taking that L. And now UPC down 3 rounds. We'll have to go for an eco here, moving into our 6th round.
And slowly Aggie prompting the refract, but finds nobody as CIT will be going in for a B long execute. Kramen tries to go for a jump peek, doesn't find anybody. But contact is crucial, as we've seen. The smokes have been popped. Dimensional drift open. Ooh! Doesn't tag nobody, but Kramen takes down Almera. But gets traded by Jester, as well as Jester getting traded back by Caroling. Caroling hoping to get some hold of the site, with still the rest of CIT, 2 of them, being all the way on B long, just behind pillars.
Yeah, this fight for CIT-U not going in their favor. Now some weaponry picked up here by UPC, upgrades secured, but the biggest threat here is the one that's not with the rest of the pack, as Mordred gets taken down.
Stein with a sheriff right there, and it's going to be a 4v2 situation. Orchid just slicing his way into the map. slicing his way into the side, but will he be able to find Caroling, who is holding that corner? And oh, Caroling takes down Orchid. Still another one. But does he know? Does he know? He doesn't! Quincas takes down Caroling. That'll be a 1v3 situation with 12 seconds left. Spike has been planted. And Consent looking for that angle on B-Link. No! Look too up into the sky, and Stein didn't find the person on the ground. Oh no! Quincas didn't find the person on the ground.
A big mistake here for the side of CIT-U. The few members were already fighting on site, but the rest of the team did not follow the lead of those entries. And this is a bit of a mistake here from CIT-U, because that just gifted them the round. That just gifted them the round. They gave it straight away to UPC, and UP, they came into that round with pistols, upgraded pistols, but they come out there with 4 rifles and a round win, and now they're 2 rounds away from tying us up here for all.
Yeah, definitely, and the momentum probably not on their side, but they have been given the fighting chance they need. Some kerfuffle all the way on mid. The refract was prompted, but slowly trying to creep in through the window. Nobody. Just going in for a very, very big hold. CIT and UPC on a really tight deadlock right now.
Yeah, they're really still looking for an opening here, but UPC have yet to gather info. But the biggest threat right now for CIT-U is already this pushed up Aggie. Jester might not expect it. He's jiggling the slide through.
Oh, Aggie was able to use the quick dash out back and reposition himself. And that's exactly what I said, the nature of high risk, high reward plays that gets him, nets him the kill. Mordred off screens Aggie, and now CIT looking to execute all the way on A. Stein, backside. Orchid gets the plant. Mordred takes down Consent. And does Caroling have what it takes to negate the blindside? Unfortunately, he was able to strafe away. Almera. Stormtrooper plays right there. Kramen goes down. Almera finds a kill. But is Quincas going to be able to spot Caroling before he spots him? And Almera again with a spam. 3K. Caroling goes down. And that's the 5th for CIT University. They are definitely heating up for this match.
Yeah, CIT-U immediately picked up where they left off in that prior round. They made a mistake giving UPC a round back in that previous one, but they're able to make up for that mistake, and now they're in a pretty good position to snowball this lead and extend that lead even further. Not to mention, they still have 4 ultimates online.
Doing a thing.
And that's going to be a little bit difficult for execute, but it's a very chaotic match since both teams have their ultimates. But an Aldrone right there. Aggie opts to back away. Jester going with a fast lane. Really, really trying to inch their way. Quincas hoping to spot somebody. Aggie just in the right angle for that head shot right there.
Yep. The flash getting thrown out, just forcing Quincas back. Still no engagement here for either side. But Mordred already inserted very deep in towards Art. Could catch a timing here.
And it's going to be a Prowler all the way on B-Link. 3-on-3 on a very congested area. Will CIT try to take that space, and they back away.
Yeah, they back away.
They could sniff
trying
somebody.
their luck elsewhere, but
Caroling. Oh, Caroling gets taken down by Orchid. And they finally unlock a large portion of the A side. Stein still all the way from playing backside. Ooh, but Kramen gets the best of Mordred. Quincas goes in for the trade, kills Aggie, as well as Jester killing Stein. Kramen, Almera going for a 2K, and that will be the 8th round of this match.
Yep, CIT-U, excellent execution to close out that round. They realize that they've not fully cleared that A site, managed to extinguish the threat of Aggie with that convergent paths. They're still continuing their tear here, CIT-U, and now UPC have a pretty decent shot here. Not the best rifles on Caroling and Stein, but they still have a Vandal, 2 Vandals, and a Phantom to work with.
And they also have their ultimates. A lot of ultimates online. Is going to be a really chaotic match. Jester, Aggie, prompting the refract, goes back.
Yep. Some initial space taken here on mid, but that Cosmic Divide will set or
Ooh,
will take it
tether.
the go button.
Jester takes down Aggie. And that will be the overdrive being popped. Caroling goes to back off. Overdrive eliminating Caroling. And Stein, Constant all the way on backside. Ooh, gets found by Almera. Almera takes 2 for his team. But Kramen going for a really hard flank was a steep ask. And Orchid will deny Kramen any more advancements.
CIT-U, they see a weakness and they continue to exploit that weakness, which is UPC's A site hold. They consistently target that place or that site, and UPC have yet to make adjustments that have worked in their favor. They've only scrambled 1 round, and it ended up being more of a mistake from CIT-U than actually a play from UPC. I mean, to give the players credit, it's not that easy to make those types of shots, but if those players from the side of CIT-U are isolated, that's essentially just a free kill for you. But now UPC back once again to that drawing board. They have to go for an eco here, and CIT-U, look at that bank built up with this very big lead already. UPC, they're gonna head into this next round in an eco. Not much to work with ultimate-wise. Even in the ultimate department, CIT-U still have a lead in that area. So UPC, they need to find their form here early in the first half for them to make it a winnable situation once the sides have switched, because this is their map pick.
And it's going to be really chaotic once the curtains come down, especially since both teams, especially UPC, are in a very desperate position to reclaim, and not just reclaim, cut off the momentum. But Aggie with a stinger finds nobody. Oh, finds Stein. Chester finds Stein. Unfortunately, Aggie was not able to secure a trade. Constant just spamming, being spammed through the smoke right there. Aggie holding really close with a stinger, and they decide to back off.
But UPC, realizing that their prior efforts of holding that A site have not been working, they may have just over-rotated to that A site. And now, with that dimensional drift pop, CIT-U Almera will pick up the info that there is no one home for the side of UPC in this B site. It's a free site for CIT-U, and the rest of UPC are still going to be walking in to Mordred, who just got picked off by Kramen.
Kramen gets that kill for his team, and that is a less comfortability for the side of CIT-U if somebody would ever try to get them from the flank. Unfortunately for them, the rest of UP are right there on B long. Prowler gets popped. And that will be the hunt. Gets prompted, does not get it. And a trace of where Kramen takes down Orchid. And another one on Quincas. Almera goes in for the trade. Blindside popped. Fake out. Doesn't find anybody. Aggie with the wrong timing. Jester takes down Kramen, and no! Attackers were able to take that round.
Hey Almera, say what you want about Nico Baby being all that good, being great even. But Almera right now, the substitute, stepping up in a big way here for the Wildcats, currently leading the team and making that clutch. It was a pixel perfect stop on the defuse, 0.02. Just a tiny bit more and UPC would have had a miraculous round there. But Almera says no.
Almera denies that point for UPC, but Kramen will be taking down Jester with the op. So Aldrone gets prompted. Oops. Kramen goes in for a TP, but Hunter's Fury gets to tag him. Killjoy's lockdown gets prompted, but the operator is still online for the team of UPC. Denies CIT-U of the site though. Denies UPC of the site though, but oh, Stein eliminates Almera. Consent in a state of detain. Orchid takes down Caroline. Stein gets a kill on Mortrid, and Orchid goes in for the trade. Orchid, it's a kill.
1v1.
Aggie, the 1v1 situation finds Orchid. And that will be third point for the college, for University of the Philippines, Cebu.
UPC, excellent nerves that round, and Kramen
Last round
have
in the
started
half.
to see a pattern here for the side of UPC. Whenever UPC get a round win, it's always off of a pretty good pick-off from Kramen, wherever it may be. As long as he gets that first blood, it's been a recipe for UP. They've managed to secure rounds just from him being able to get or to secure an advantage early on, and now he still has that operator to work with. And even though right now CIT-U not opting to go to that B site, that drone will give CIT-U all the info they need as
And
Aggie refracts back.
It's now they have the information that Jester is trying to aggress, to put pressure all the way on A main.
Yeah, so far nothing here yet from both sides. CIT-U looking to test the waters here, but in a
Quincas.
forward position is Quincas.
Quincas holding a really tight angle, but Orchid. Ooh, Orchid in concept. Relay bolt incoming. Quincas takes down Aggie. Tries to find another elimination. Orchid.
Can't use it.
Then Jester all the way at Flowers. Positions himself. Ooh, takes down Stein despite being in a null. Jester just aggressing, harassing the enemies all the way through. But oh, Caroling will be the one to reset Stein as well as take that elimination. But Almera will be putting Stein back into the grave. But the site is already in the hands of CIT. They were able to get the spike. Nano Swarm incoming, but no Mortrid. Finds the angle on Kramen, and Caroling left all alone, all by himself. Recon bolt incoming, but Almera will be going in with a shorty.
Almera once again
Switching sides.
closes out the round here for CIT-U. UPC, that A site still is a problem. They need to find a way to stop CIT-U from taking that space, but even then, that first half, it's a big problem that UPC did not solve in time. They bled so many rounds to that A site take, and now they're in a deficit, and 3-9 deficit. And CIT-U, they've built a really big lead here, a really comfort cushion for them in the second half, and now they have that luxury of relaxing, being a little bit more reserved, and the nerves probably calming down here for the side of the defending champions. But UPC, it's on. They have to go for one heck of a rally here to make this a very close game.
Silence incoming in spams through the smokes. They're trying to size each other up at the moment, just gauging how many people could be putting the pressure on this hold right here. And ooh, Almera gets chipped down to 13. Flashpoint. Flash coming in from KO, prompting it, but not really letting it go at the moment. Kramen just holding really, really closely. Quincas, Jester, as well as Almera posted up all the way on B, however.
Yeah, both teams a stalemate here. CIT-U trying to sell that they may have rotated here, and UPC trying to do the same, but neither side backing down, neither side rotating, as there's no reason for CIT-U to make any rotates here. No sound has been made on the opposite side of the map. And this stack is going to be detrimental for UPC if it goes according to plan for CIT-U. They have so
30
many
seconds
utils
left.
readily available here, and they decide to pull the trigger now.
Ooh.
UPC.
Fast Fast lane coming in from Almera, taking down Stein. Jester, another one for Kramen. Almera gets traded. Jester takes on Aggie, and Quincus with a 2K will be closing in a very stalled out round right there.
Yeah, UPC, the fake did not work. I mean, if you're going to fake, you have to at least throw a
Convince.
little bit of a utility there, because
Invest some noise onto the other side.
There, you did not force any rotations whatsoever, because the other side of the map was accounted for by Orchid. The IGL on the other side completely read UPC like a book there. Yeah, we're gonna make it silent, guys. No way we're still here, right? No way.
No way they're going to know we're still here, but they haven't made some noise to actually sell the part, to sell their deception to the defending team. But as we can see, Orchid takes down Kramen. Finds somebody, finds some action. 4 people all the way, relay bolt incoming. Jester, oh! Jester with a timely 4K will be taking the 11 for his team. A beautiful maneuver right there, just a really great recon, a relay bolt coming in from Jester.
If we take a look at the replay here, it all started good for Orchid. That relay bolt didn't actually land onto the majority of the team. I think it only landed into 2 of them, but it was just
Enough.
all of them not looking at the same place. Stein was preoccupied. Constant was actually caught up in the stun. There's not much you could have done in that situation. And now UPC, they have the rifles to work with. Moving into this round,
Almera going with an outlaw. Ooh, finds Aggie and decides to back out fast lane, deciding to cover the tracks of Almera. A quick scan right there. Somebody has been tagged. Caroling looking to jiggle his way to peek for information. UPC trying to find a way that they could advance, but Caroling will be taking down Almera. For both teams. Jester tries to draw in their attention. Right through an angle right there, but some confrontation. Kramen and Mordred. And no. The University. Oh, Caroling takes down Jester with an untimely peek. And that will be a 4v3 situation in favor of UPC.
Yep, UPC here with the man advantage and the weaponry advantage, but still, you can't count CIT-U out right now as they're headed towards Art.
Denies. Ooh, Mordred. Mordred gets taken down by Kramen. And an Odin spam from Orchid. Recon bolt incoming. Trying to get some information. Tether doesn't find anybody, but no! Caroling was able to get Orchid through that Odin spam. Caroling with the hovering Vandal. Ooh, and takes down Quincus for a 4K for his team. UPC, finally another one on the board.
Yeah, Caroling feeling himself there. A 4K to seal UPC's 4th round. They're going to need more of that, but not just from Caroling, but from the rest of the team. Everyone else outside of Caroling has not even reached double digits in terms of kills. And now, Caroling is 1 ult orb away from unlocking that Cosmic Divide. Another very powerful tool in Pearl that UPC could play around with, but right now, A main is the name of the game.
And Jester quickly aggressing through the side, trying to contact, but that will be a molly being thrown in by Aggie going in for the distraction relay bolt. Incoming, the disrupt, denying information, but he gets big. Jester gets 2. Aggie
Overdrive!
gets that overdrive right there, and a 4K from Jester! What an aggressive play! Coming in from the Cebu Institute of Technology.
University.
CIT.
Yep, CIT-U, very big play here from Jester. Secures match point, and Jester on fire right now. Precision is there. The relay bolt, or the stun I should say, perfect from his end. Completely dismantles UPC's plans, and now this buy, it's not much of a buy at all. 3 Stingers, 2 Vandals. They still have that Cosmic Divide to play around with, but the question is CIT-U going to back down here? I don't think so.
They're looking to sniff somebody out. Jester just holding that link right there. Doesn't spot the confrontation. Nano Swarm gets thrown out. Trying to deny the site, but Jester takes down Constant. Tries to peek through. just to gain some information. Relay bolt, ooh, but was able to take a long down with him. Caroling Stein evening out the numbers game. And it's going to be a 3v3 situation. What will UPC do? Ooh, looks like they're trying to go through and pivot all the way on A.
Yep, this A pivot could be a big problem now for CIT-U, but a little bit of an inkling read here as
Orchid.
Almera already slowly rotating towards that A site. That Cosmic Divide is going to get popped. Orchid here, the IGL forced to anchor down this site.
And Orchid has the read. Trying to
recon.
go in for a recon. Does he spot somebody? Tries to spam to
goes
Caroling,
down.
but no! Oh! Caroling goes in for a jump, but gets taken down with a wall bang. Orchid going for Sova Dart. Shock Dart right there coming in, but Almera gets taken down through the smoke. 2v2. Will they find Stein? Quincas gets 2, and that will be a winning round. CIT University.
Yeah, CIT-U secure map number 1 here in this series as the defending champions look in form here in map number 1. And the UPC Fighting Maroons now losing in their map pick will have to go back to the drawing board and try and somewhat do what CIT-U just did to them and beat them in their own map pick.
We have seen some really aggressive but surgical plays coming in, especially from Jester. We have just seen CIT in tip-top shape for this match. It doesn't even seem like, you know, one player from their main team got counted out.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, UPC. It was a tough fight, but CIT-U just had every read, just played the utility game better, and just layered their resources so much better than UPC. I think the Fighting Maroons came here expecting a challenge, but they weren't expecting that sort of fight, that sort of ferocity from CIT-U, and that was a big mistake and a big oversight. As we take a look at our MVP here, Jester, with 24 kills, 3 assists, and a 386 ACS.
You can definitely see that despite having those plays from Jester, CIT was a very, very controlled team with how they use their utility. Very, very methodical with how they do their executes and how they plan certain things out. Even where they're coming for a retake, even when they give this side to UPC, CIT seems to have the answer to just dismantle their plays apart. And especially with Jester as a crucial key for their team to make those space to just really frag out.
Yeah, it was just a Jester show. In those closing rounds, he stepped up in a big way, took over rounds, especially in that previous one where it was just Jester once again stepping up in a big way. And Ace as well on top to secure his team match point, and then the round immediately after, just a cakewalk for them to close it out. It looked a little bit closer than the round score would suggest, but that all depends on UPC not being able to close out rounds that they should have won, and CIT-U really clutching up some rounds that they had no business winning.
They were giving it their best to just hold down the side, sometimes even letting them get the take, but the onslaught that has been constantly demonstrated by the Wildcats.
Yeah, exactly. And now we take a look here at our overall stat sheet. We have Jester once again, of course, getting that MVP slot. 386 combat score, 5 first bloods. You could see why this man is on that neon, and he is making sure that everyone else knows why as well. And you know, it was a bit closer than the round score would have suggested, but once again, CIT-U just able to wither the storm. When UC fought back, it was, you know, CIT-U just being able to push through and just in those small moments beat out UPC.
It was a really steep ask considering that the summit was right there, but CITU was just able to surmount the challenges, climb to the top, and it's now up to UPC to, climb that tall mountain for themselves as well.
Yeah. And right now, let us pass it on to our host for our post-game interview. Nika?
Thank you so much for that, casters. And now, let's take a quick break from that match. And I have here a student from the CIT-U Wildcats. So, hi, Rafael. Thank you so much for being here with me. So, how are you enjoying the game so far?
The match feels incredible, and I can feel the attention from the teams.
So, Rafael, do you play esports? Okay. So, as a student, how do you manage your playing esports and your academics?
I prioritize my academics, and then on my free time, I play Valorant.
Rafael, is there anyone you want to give a shout out to?
Shout out to CIT Valorant team, especially Queencast and Orchid and Mordred.
All right, Rafael, thank you so much for being here with me today. And that's it, guys. We have Rafael, and now let's take a quick break before we head into our second game.
You keep on running around with other women in town. I've had enough of these games. I will be kicking you out. I keep on telling you when you don't come home from that town. I've had enough of these games. I will be kicking you out. I've had enough of these games. I've had enough of these games. I will be kicking you out. I've had enough of these games. You keep on running around with other women in town. I've had enough of these games. I will be kicking you out. I keep on telling you when you don't come home from my town. I've had enough of these games. I will be kicking you out. I've had enough of these games.
And now we are back for game 2. Ben, that was such a exciting match.
Exciting.
First match from both teams, quite aggressive. We've been seeing some raining of 4Ks, especially on both sides.
I mean, yeah, it's been mainly caroling stepping up for UPC, trying to give them somewhat of a pillar to work with here in the second game. I think Caroling and Kramen really stepped up in that first game, even though it ended up being not as close as UPC would have wanted. It's still a lot better, or it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah. They were really, really able to just give it their best and serve us the entertainment that we want.
Exactly, and once again, it was a lot more closer than the overall round score would have suggested. If you see those rounds back at the very end, it would have been down to 1v1s, 2v1s, 3v1s even. It was still a very winnable situation, but the experience from the defending champions really, giving them that edge in those types of scenarios.
They were able to make more of the cards that they were dealt with, and despite the deficit of resources coming in from both sides, the ones that came out as resourceful were the Wildcats.
Yeah, exactly, and the second map coming up here is going to be Haven. And it's a pretty big map, as seeing that we've already seen it numerous times today. So we're gonna get
So
another
many plays
Haven
from
match.
Haven.
For all those who kind of dislike Haven, mainly for it being repeated. Yeah, but it's still a pretty good map. It's been giving us so many good games, and I get the part where like Haven again, like Haven again. It should be Haven again, because the Haven games have been giving.
But it really shows how leaning more into coordination the players are of CEL. And speaking of CEL, this season would not have been possible without our sponsors, Virginia, Basta Hotdog, Virginia, Smart, PLDT, Smart, Live More Today, PLDT, leading and inspiring the Filipino people to creating a better tomorrow, as well as our, of course, venue partner, CIT-U, the Cebu Institute of Technology University, providing us with our very wonderful venue, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, if you want to check out more of the Sasafi Esports League, you can catch us live at Smart Sports and Puso B. Catch every clash, every play, and every victory at the Sasafi Esports League. Stream it live through our official media partners, Puso Pilipinas, and the Smart Live Stream app. As well as PC Express for all your digital needs, and Crayon Lab, your one-stop shop for premium prints and custom designs.
Yeah, but ladies and gentlemen, we have here our map, or our agent selections for the map. UPC are going to start on that defender side, and they're opting to go for a double controller setup here with Viper. Throughout the past couple of metas, or the past couple of tournaments, really rising in priority in terms of map, or in terms of agent compositions here in Haven. And you could see why, as so many players love to play around this Viper wall, and the lurking potential, as well as the info denial. You really have to cross a very dangerous position just to get info, and you never know what's waiting on the opposite side of that Viper wall. But a big common pick here between both these teams is that Omen, Sova, and Killjoy. Very staple picks in a map like Haven. The lockdown providing so much value, and of course that Hunter's Fury as well, and the Paranoia from the Omen. But can the Fighting Maroons catch up to the summit? The choices are yes, no, and Radical will catch up, or we forge summits. Ladies and gentlemen, pick your choices here and make your decisions in the poll. And map number 2 slowly coming underway.
And now the first round coming down in 3 seconds, especially as what you said with the Viper pick, as being able to split up lanes so well as Omen, staple, Paranoia. But what does it mean to say as they have replaced the controller with a duelist like Yoru?
I mean, the advantage of that double duelist setup is, of course, going to be you're going to be taking. It's going to be easier for you to take space. But speaking of taking space, CIT-U already pushed up over towards this A area. Paranoia
Jester
thrown out.
addressing it all the way again. Constant gets traded by Quincus. Kramen, however, taking control of mid, seeing as the turret has been shot down. Kramen creeping up all the way. Will they find Almera? But no! Mordred takes down Kramen. And that will be a 2v4 situation. Stein posted up on Garage. Does not get the Orchid. And that will be Quincus closing in the round, taking down Caroling. The first goes to UPC.
Oh, Stein, a blundered opportunity there. The right clicks hitting nothing but the wall. Unfortunate for the side here of of UPC. They have yet to get a advantage here, as I think there's been a mistake on the overlay, as CIT-U are supposed to be the ones with the lead right now.
And now the first round going to CIT-U, as the defenders have been a crucial advantage, especially with the aggression that has been shown by UPC. Now as the second round is about to begin, trying to spam through that mid control.
Mid control, the name of the game right now, as UPC taking space here, but not much to work with if you are a fighting Maroon this round. Only Classics, one singular Sheriff on constant, but it's not much to work with if you are the fighting Maroons. Still, discipline shown here by CIT-U. They're not over-aggressing. They realize that if they do risk a couple of these weapons going to the hands of UPC still have a fighting shot at taking this round.
But CIT-U just holding their ground. Toxic screen going up. And the trade of utility trying to scan the rest of the fighting Maroons. UPC. CIT-U UPC sets up the toxic screen again. But no dice, no advancements going on.
Yep, still a stalemate right now. UPC really bleeding this clock out dry, as 20 seconds left. They slowly have to make their move here. It looks like they're setting their sights on this B site, as CIT-U ready to greet them.
Toxic screen goes up, Paranoia gets prompted. And no action yet, but Quincus takes two. Jester in with Marshall, and Mordred secures constant.
Oh no.
Another goes right there.
Oh,
on Caroling.
Oh, Caroling. He could have at least gotten a kill back, but in the grand scheme of things, doesn't really matter all that much. But right now in this round, CIT-U having a few solid weapons to work with, mainly just that Guardian on Almera, and maybe get a couple of cheeky headshots with the Marshall on Jester. But so far, it is UPC now on a full buy. In terms of ultimate charges, not much going on there. Neither player really picking up a lot of kills here to start outside of Quincus.
Almera posted quite boldly, takes Aggie and decides to back out. And now UPC getting the dark covers in the way of their execute will now be opting to go for a pivot.
Yep. Now UPC slowly moving up here in or looking to explore their options elsewhere, as they've tried that C area, but they were immediately caught off guard by the very aggressive position of Almera. And now UPC still exploring the rest of the map, but they've really just been holding. They haven't been taking that much space, and we're already down to 45 seconds. Still UPC yet to make their move. Looks like they are going to try and re-hit the C site, but Quincus gonna get that early info, and the rest of CIT-U will be here to respond if they do end up in that C site, and they do.
And another dark cover gets in. Recon bolt right there. Spams through the boxes. Stein gets Quincus. Almera takes on Kramen. Fake out. Prompted. Popped. Now Stein looking to the angle. Takes down Almera. A bold statement right there. Caroling gets grazed, and Stein planting the spike, and that will be the site for UPC. Mordred constant not being able to see through. Shock dart from Orchid taking down Stein. Caroling gets Mordred and Jester. Jester The Guardian on Carling's face, confusing them with high gear noises.
Yeah, CIT-U here, calm as ever. You could see the championship DNA in their veins. Nothing. They're giving nothing to UPC right now. Every angle, every push, every area of the map needs to be earned by the Fighting Maroons, and CIT-U enforcing their will here as that retake comes into fruition. And the bonus is converted. Now UPC have to dig themselves out of this hole that they have been dropped in by the Wildcats, and they still don't have the best weaponry to
Aggie?
do so.
Dark covers are going through fast lane. Coming up, trying to aggress already on B site. And Aggie will be posting himself with a buggy.
Spike planted.
It's going to be a steep ask. Might I add, Quincus taking down Kramen, going down, and that will be Jester taking 2 for his team Consent. And Orchid secures the round as Caroling topples over. And that will be a beautiful flawless coming in for CIT-U.
Yeah, flawless round here for CIT-U.
Running low.
4-0 now as UPC. This is their gun round. I mean, if there's a time to call a timeout, this might be it if you are UPC. However,
I'm outta here.
if we take a look at the ultimate side of things, it's only Caroling for the side of UPC who has that from the shadows, and Stein 1 away from that Hunter's Fury. So if they could get that spike down, if Stein can get that spike down or secure an orb, they could use that Hunter's Fury to get their first on the board and kind of delay that defuse for the post plant. But still, they would need to get that spike down, and they're eyeing this A site, which they previously have not explored yet to this extent. They're slowly pushing over towards long as CIT-U taking space elsewhere, pushing up mid, but this very, very cheeky alarm bot will give CIT-U or give UPC all the info they need.
Almera creeping from behind. No action at the moment. Really just a stalled out match. They're at a deadlock once again. Both teams trying to figure things out. And no dice. It seems to be there's some action going in all the way at A. Shock Dart doesn't get anyone. Nano Swarm gets popped. Recon Bolt. UP gives away UPC Aggie's positioning, and Orchid will be taking down towers. Tries to go for a cheeky Shock Dart, trying to find somebody. Stein is grazed.
Hunter's Fury.
Beautiful Hunter's Fury right there. Quincas gets taken down. Caroling, and a trading of bodies right there. Almera going in for a 3K. Secures the round for his team. And that will be the 5th for CIT-U.
Yep. The 5th here for CIT-U. That was the round for UPC. They had everything that they wanted to start. But once again, Almera, the substitute here, stepping up in a big way. This one-trick Yoru is piloting this agent to perfection. It's like watching you play Yoru.
Watching me play Yoru? You're flattering me way too much, man.
Need a drop.
But with that clutch from Almera, that does keep the momentum on the side of CIT-U. But UPC still have a fighting chance in this round. They do have the weaponry still to try and scrap up a round win here. But if we take a look at the ult count, CIT-U really having a big advantage there. Almera with that Dimensional's Drift up from the shadows from Quincus, Orchid with that Hunter's Fury, and even Mordred with or one off that lockdown to go for this retake. But as the timer resumed, the technical difficulty dealt with, ladies and gentlemen, round number 6 of map 2 here in our final match of day 6.
And as the curtains go down, Aggie will be aggressing Garage. Just posted up all the way on doors, not really trying to push through, but Jester will be taking down Kramen very, very quick, and that smokes out for the team of UPC. Aggie finds Mordred, evening No, it's going to be a 4v3 situation. Aggie still looking for somebody that he could pick. Almera with an operator, trying to get delayed with that relay bolt. Decides to TP out. He's putting himself at such a close distance and he decides to opt out. Nanoswarm.
Yep, CIT-U here opting to give the space initially for UPC, but this is all just so they can set up this retake properly as Orchid with the spam.
Dimensional drift right there, but the overdrive coming in from Aggie. Takes on the Orchid. Another one from Aggie and Almera. Almera distracting. Quincas takes the cake and Aggie topples over, and that would be the 6th for CIT.
CIT-U once again with this retake. It was a 4-on-3, but somehow it ends up being a 2 for none. As once again, CIT-U, the Wildcats, not backing down here, not giving any sort of luxury for UPC to get some momentum on their side. Still, roundless is the Fighting Maroons. You have to question, you have to slowly ask yourself, is the fight slowly running out for the Fighting Maroons? Or is just CIT-U just too oppressive in this defender side?
And we have now the 7th round of the match. Poison Cloud. It's prompted. Almera gets denied his operator. And Jester trying to follow through. Barely grazes Kramen. Gets a kill on Jester. And Orchid looking to respond with that Odin. But will he be able to prevail just right behind this Poison Cloud? No information where the rest of UPC could be.
Yeah, UPC have a pretty broken bye to head into this round. They only have that one Vandal on Kramen. It was just the Vandal that they recovered off of Jester. They still have a pretty good gun to work around with, but they have to do it properly, as that C site very open right now for the Fighting Maroons. Is Mordred?
Mordred decides to spam, doesn't find anybody, decides to back out. Almera with an operator, but somebody just staying quite closely to his angle. It's going to be a little difficult, but no, Kramen takes down Almera. Almera goes down. And Aggie gets hit with the Paranoia. Recon Bolt gets saved by Kramen. Now, Orchid. Mordred
The lockdown.
and gets the kill on Kramen. Orchid again responds with an Odin. Nanoswarm to delay defuse, but Orchid will be distracting for his team, reeling in the bow for a shock dot, but Stein with a Sheriff will deny Mordred the opportunity, and Mordred will be shut down by Consent. A beautiful thrifty from University of the Philippines, Cebu. Fighting Maroons.
The Fighting Maroons finally get their one on the board. And with that round win, with that thrifty win, they still have credits. Still have full credits and loadouts in this round after. But the same can be said for the side of CIT-U, as they have won 6 consecutive rounds before losing that previous one. So they have considerably built themselves a bank for at least a good while. For the next, at least, I don't know.
But
I think
Almera going in
one
again.
round.
Almera going in again with an operator. Gets denied with the dark cover. Stein just trying to get the ult orb for himself.
Couple of shots here from Almera, not necessarily getting a pick off, as shots do go wide. But UPC still running down this clock, and already Kramen making his way towards sewer. That Viper's, or that toxic screen, really proving to be a problem, but the excellent position of that turret will notify UPC or CIT-U if anyone is spotted in that area. Now Almera getting pressured on this C site. Aldrone yet to spot him out, and as it expires,
He tries to find somebody. He gets an inkling of a feeling of Aggie on Cubby, but no! Waste that shot. Blindside coming in, and Aggie makes his break for it, trying to pivot all the way to A site and regroup with the rest of his team. Orchid sneakily posted onto a corner. Will Kramen be able to find? But the nozzle of his gun gives him away. Kramen takes down Orchid. Jester responds and takes another. He snags a kill, and Mordred with a 2K, taking down Stein and Aggie. And it's just going to be a Killjoy all alone. Constant by himself. And Constant remains. The 7th round, 7th win goes to CIT.
CIT still fighting in this game. UP, despite that glimpse of hope they had in round number 6, they have yet, or round number 7 I should say, they still are falling short to CIT-U in this map movement. They've been a step, or CIT has just been a step ahead of the Fighting Maroons, and Fighting Maroons, they need to go for a switch up here, maybe try and go for rush play, because these rounds where you're running out the clock has just not been working. As Almera already fishing for a pick
Almera.
in mid.
Almera posted all the way too far. Kramen hits Almera with a stinger and tries to get it again for
There's
Jester,
Fury!
but no! Ooh! And quickly, the players of UPC got demolished, eviscerated from the map of Haven. A very quick gunplay from both sides, but ultimately CIT will be standing on that hill.
Up CIT-U. Pretty good round there, a statement round. And it started looking good there for UPC once they got that initial pick-off, but after that it just completely went downhill. Nothing found after that. The bright side though, they did bait out that Hunter's Fury from Orchid, but even so, you take the little wins that you can, even though it was a round loss.
Every little bit helps, but Almera posted all the way on short. Not going to be the little bit of problem they're going to face right there. Kramen goes in for the duel, but Almera decides to TP out.
Yeah, once again, UPC setting their sights on this A site, but it is just Jester alone here. Could be a fight.
Could be, but no! Caroling takes down Jester, and that will be another portion of the site opened up for UPC. Poison Cloud goes down. Almera sits on top of tower. The Poison Cloud, Aggie positioning himself. And CIT, with a numbers disadvantage, will be having a very perilous travel all the way to the retake portion of this round. Mordred looking a little too close to the sun. Gets to Aggie. Beautifully executes that collateral. But Kramen will be coming in for the trade. And he will be claiming the 2nd win for UPC.
And finally, a clean round there. A clean round win for UPC. One that they've been desperately needing for the past couple of rounds. And if UPC can somewhat close out the half here, winning back-to-back rounds, including this one, they could set themselves up for a pretty solid comeback here as we slowly head in towards that second half. But for now, UPC still have so many ultimates available. It's only Aggie not having that overdrive available, but still, he's only one off. And now UPC, they may want to set their sights on the C site, but they have to do so quickly as the From the Shadows is used.
Quincas going in, trying to get away and just give the site to UPC.
Yeah, but they've taken sight, but what is wrong with the Fighting Maroons? They left the spike over towards C main. That's a huge blunder. That's time wasted here, giving enough seconds or enough time for CIT-U to make this rotate, to set themselves up, to put them in a better position, and now they're ready to go. The Wildcats soaring back.
Ooh, fake out, congested all the way on Garage. Orchid will be able to take down Aggie. Trades going in for the kill, and Stein. CIT-U topples over in a very quick manner. Despite the surgical plays they've been making, despite the blunder, UPC was still able to turn that round quite funneled into the Garage right there. And Ben, I don't know what to say. Where did they happen to make the blunder? Who made the biggest blunder of that round?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. The blunder just falls onto the whole team. You're realizing that you've already made your way towards that site, but doesn't really matter at the end of it all. They did win that round. It was just a pretty good post-plant setup from UPC, and they still have 3 more ultimates to work with here in the final round of the half. And CIT-U, not the best weaponry they have here, only 1 Vandal, and the rest a mix of SMG shotguns.
But Aggie will be posting himself all the way from backside. Toxic Screens will be denying Mordred
Down.
that peak. The lockdown has been set. Toxic Screens finally relay bolt, finds Aggie, but doesn't seem to get more than 1 kill. Jester trades Aggie, and in return, the rest of CIT-U gets detained. The site
Nano
is
swarms.
for a retake, despite the spike has been planted, but it's now up to them
Hunter's
to go in
Fury
for the
as
paranoia,
well.
going in for the spam.
It's a little
Hunter's
low,
Fury
it's a
goes
little
down,
low.
but ooh, Stein was able to get 2, and the spike really in its last moment. Stein steps up and eliminates Mordred.
The Fighting Maroons still fighting here as we close that first half. Somehow, they managed to stabilize, winning 3 consecutive rounds to somewhat set themselves up for a decent start to the second half. And now they need to continue their winning ways here as we start the second half. This pistol is crucial if they want to make this comeback, because if they do drop this round, it's most likely a win for if they do drop this round, it's most likely double digits for CIT-U in the round after. And now UPC, all the pressure in the world, will they be able to answer that pressure?
But Kramen looking to position himself quite forward right there. Forward
Mentioned.
Honorary forward mentioned, and then decides to back away.
Still
Jester.
a slow round from both sides. CIT-U testing the waters here to start out the pistol. Very slow from both sides, but UPC
Aggie
moving back.
finds somebody, and oh, Aggie
The
gets the
spray!
kill. Orchid is able to take 2, and Almera snags another for his team. CIT, man advantage. What will UPC do? Almera decides to TP out at a very unclimactic moment.
Just in the nick
Almera.
of time as well.
But Constant still trying to fight his way with just a classic and a dream. Constant. Oh, but Stein gets a snag on Almera. A little untimed.
Very
But it has
winnable
been
here.
his grace for 2 times now.
They expect
Quincas.
Quincas.
Quincas gets another, but no, Constant denies him.
1v1.
It's going to be 1v1. And Mordred, despite Constant being very low, Mordred gets the kill.
Remember, your weapon
Mordred
is only a tool.
and the rest of CIT-U, just excellent setup there. And you can see it, the nerves from the side of UPC. They had the read of that A-hold, but Aggie too quick on the rotate. Not forced as well. Not much presence shown on the opposite side, but it was just, I believe, a missed call from the side of UPC for that very early rotation. Now they're heading into this next round with just a Ghost and 4 Classics.
And unfortunately, despite having really good position, Almera off screens, Constant, Quincas once again taking 2 for his team. It's going to be CIT-U and the man's advantage. Stein and Aggie left to fend for themselves. CIT-U already has the spike. Jester takes down Stein, and that will be Almera closing the round with a pick off on Aggie.
Yep, and now double digits secured here for CIT-U. Not long now before the Wildcats finish this already battered and bruised Fighting Maroons, but still, it's not over for them just yet. UPC, they still have a chance here, but they need to stem the bleeding right now, right here, right now. Stop this and get this round win. Deny that bonus conversion because it just will get bad to worse if they end up dropping this round.
And Orchid looking to fish out some information, but a snake bite will be coming through to just chafe a little bit from Almera. Almera trying to find somebody, but Kramen will be going in for a pre-fire. Finds nobody. Caroling, prompting in the paranoia. Fast lane coming through. Jester, all the way from traffic, gets his team on the site, but doesn't seem to look for Caroling. Caroling was able to take down Quincas. Almera takes on Caroling, and Constantine taking down the rest of CIT-U. Almera, it's a pick-off on Stein, and it will ultimately be Aggie coming in to assassinate Almera.
Up now, UPC still in this match. Caroling, he got his one, and now the rest of his team left there to pick up the last, but it's a good sign to see if you are a Fighting Maroons fan. They still are showing signs of life here.
They're still breathing. They're still clawing their way, you know. They're still trying to make their way up.
Yep, man. 5 more rounds left here before UP can tie us up, but a little bit of aggression shown by CIT-U in this A site to try and force some rotations. And you know, UPC, they're biting on this. They're shifting 4 players now towards this A area, and CIT-U
Utilities.
already gathering themselves to pivot for the C site as Constant. Now he has to anchor against all of these 5 people, but
Jester.
it might just be a retake angle as
Kramen gets the kill on Almera, but the rest of the Wildcats are already posted up on mid. Orchid looking to find somebody, just waiting for the curtains of the toxic screen to go down. Constant just spamming, trying to put pressure, trying to make his presence known, but ultimately the dark shadows will be contested. Caroling just holding that line of sight position. Stein spots the bow, and Recon Dart coming through. Paranoia gets prompted, gets out. Mordred kills Constant, and no, Stein gets 2, gets traded in. But UPC Caroling will be taking down Orchid.
Yeah, another round here for UPC. They're closing the gap, Raj. 4 more rounds, and if we take a look at the instant replay, it all started with a uncharacteristic play there from Almera, getting caught off guard by Kramen, going for that push. You would have expected to be ready, or at least be able to react once the player, you know, walked straight into your crosshair. And now CIT-U, they're the ones with an economic problem. They're the ones facing a shortage in the money department, and now they have to enter this eco round.
And it seems that their attention keeps getting diverted into separate directions on where UPC usually position themselves, and that split-second advantage really jars how CIT has been orienting themselves throughout this match.
And once again, CIT-U testing the waters in this A site. This time around, they do not really have the necessary weaponry to go for a challenge. Here's Kramen. A little bit of an exchange of utility here thrown out. Snakebite to push CIT-U back, but the Wildcats quick to make the pivot towards this C site, and it's only Constant with, I believe, Aggie to anchor this area.
Oh, Aggie being able to take down Jester. It's now able to fend off despite being tagged by the Recon Bolt. Aggie decides to back away, gets chipped by the Shock Dart. Nano Swarm, prompted. Paranoia gets traded, and Shrouded Step called Fake Clone?
30 seconds left.
Aggie
Doesn't get Fake Clone. Almera takes down Orchid, takes down Aggie and Stein. Constant takes down Orchid.
Yeah, a lot of plays here from the side of UPC. 3 rounds to go, Raj. They can smell this lead from CIT-U, and CIT-U, they have to find themselves. They have to find the composure that they displayed in that first half, because right now it's been all UPC so far in this second half. I mean, it started good for CIT-U, but after that, it's 3 consecutive rounds now for UPC. CIT-U, they need to stem the bleeding with this gun round.
CIT-U tries to sell this sort of deception, this acting, this play they're trying to make, but UPC are not buying it and getting them for the read. Sova drone
still have 3.
prompted right there. Turret gets broken. Jester going in, kicking into high gear. Ooh, and Kramen takes down Jester, gets traded. Aggie. Now Almera has the sight. Through the smoke, Kramen goes down. Orchid finds somebody with his Hunter's Fury. And that will be a gate crash tossed all the way back to C main. And now the Wildcats have decided to post themselves quite far from the spike, leaving Stein all the way on windows, trying to get some sort of reaction from CIT-U, but the spike has already been planted.
Spike planted here, slowly taken away. UPC making the smart decision here to just opt in for this save. Stein and Caroling, not much they can do here but save these weapons. That operator crucial for UPC in the coming rounds as CIT-U secure their 11th. Even trying to go for a little bit of a fight here. Stein does deny
Stein.
one more extra weapon away from CIT-U, but in the grand scheme of things, CIT-U still have more than enough to go for a full buy here.
And that would be CIT-U taking back the lead. Still in the lead, extending the gap between the UPC. They've been able to finally compose themselves and set their sights on specific set plays that truly stave off the advancements from UPC.
Yeah, an interesting setup here from CIT-U
So
to
drone.
anchoring that C site as, you know, a lot of members for the side of CIT-U or for the side of UPC on that C area, but now this B site is the one that is going to get executed on by UPC.
Paranoia gets prompted through into overdrive Aggie, but none of the CIT-U are pushing through the dark covers. Aggie just trying to spam his overdrive, trying to still find some value into it, but gets staved off, holding an operator. Dark cover dissipates and tries. No, doesn't find anybody posted up where their line of sight is.
It's just UPC showing the respect CIT-U deserves as Mordred will get one on Caroling. Aggie able to trade it back, but still a 4-on-4. Very winnable situation for either side as CIT-U set their sights on this A site and no one outside of Stein is there to defend this site.
Toxic screens have been still set up. Unfortunately, it will be Jester trying to challenge that lockdown. Has been set. No, Kramen was able to take down Quincus. Smokes off CIT-U. Jester takes down Constant. Stein with a 2K. Will be setting up his team to close down the gap.
Yeah, the gap getting cut down right now. 8 on the board for UPC. They're back to just a 3-round deficit. They answer back a round of their own, a reply instantly. And now CIT-U heading into this next round will not have the best buy at all as they only have 2 rifles and the other one's a Guardian. They even opt to just maybe just go for a couple of Sheriffs here and that Guardian on top for a little bit more luxury and a little bit more credits to work with as we progress this possible UPC Fighting Maroons comeback. And it's a quick execute on this garage area for Jester and the rest of CIT.
Tries to weave through the Nano Swarm. The turret gets taken down. Snake Bite right there and Paranoia combo. No! Quincus was able to find Constant. UPC Kramen gets taken down as well. And it's going to be a 4v3 situation. Stein with a Phantom is trying to take a slice of garage, trying to pie down the site. But Aggie and Caroling will be posted up where Jester is holding the judge with. Was able to spot nobody but Aggie with a return right there. Lockdown has been set for the side of CIT-U. But will this be enough to detain or deny them of that space? Mordred gets taken down by Stein. Detained.
What's another death?
Caroling tries to tap the spike. Almera was able to return and respond for his team, and that will be match point for CIT-U.
CIT-U 1 round away from closing this match, and UPC, they had a little bit of a fire there. They still have the weaponry necessary in this possible final round, but CIT-U during that post plant just showing so much respect to the Fighting Maroons as they really had to invest. They really felt like they had to invest that lockdown just to secure that round, even though they had the superior positioning and the superior health bars.
Once again, Aggie with an operator takes on Quinn Castine, shuts down Jester. And a little bit of teasing from both sides. They're trying to get a taste of each other's tempo. Caroling. Stein is able to take down the fake out, but Caroling! Just a mistiming, and Mortred was able to take the say in that confrontation. Aggie, however, was not able to find Almera with that operator.
Oh, no, not like this.
CIT-U Nano Swarm invested. Almera is taken down. Orchid and another one. CIT-U 1v1 situation. Orchid, will he be able to clutch for his team? And that is game. Ladies and gentlemen, that is match 4 for Sasafi Esports League Season 4, Week 3.
Ladies and gentlemen, a wonderful showing here from the defending champions. It may have taken them a little bit longer in that second map, but they get the job done. Excellent job from the CIT-U Wildcats. And now the UPC Fighting Maroons will unfortunately fall in the seeding and will be demoted down to that 3rd seed.
And we see that there really has been a pattern with today's game, no? Draw, sweep, draw, sweep. And
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily call this a sweep, but it's just a clean 2-0 from the side of CIT-U. The sweep, I feel like, is a term you would typically use for a one-sided affair. But the UPC Fighting Maroons did show some fight. But let's send it to our loud and proud host, Astera.
There we go. Thank you so much for that, Ferraris and Radical. Once again, everyone, your winners for match 4 for week 3 are the one and only CIT-U Wildcats. There you go. Now let's take a moment to actually ask them how they're currently feeling right now. No? So first and foremost, once again, congratulations for your win. On this one, you guys are continuing with your very powerful win streak. How do you keep your focus, especially when your midterms is approaching?
Honestly, it's a combined teamwork from all of the team. Our manager always finds us people to scrim against, and our in-game leader, Christian, finds us strat plays and guides us to what we should do for each map.
Wow, what an amazing response. Now, let's actually hear from Christian since you actually pointed to him out, okay? So, question for Christian. There you go. Christian, they say that home is where the heart is. How does it feel, no, or rather, does having the home court advantage really help with your mental, especially when you have so many fans here to support you?
It feels great. It's like good motivation for us, and it's a lot of our friends that are here, and so it really feels great to be in our home court.
Perfect. And now let's take a moment for shout-outs. If any one of you have shout-outs, feel free to go for the mic.
Ma-shout out ko ni Nico Baby. Where is Nico there?
Shout out to Nico Baby daw. Grabe ang support.
Okay, Nico. And my friends, my brother Virtue. and my family, and nagtanaw sa mga live run. Thank you, and yeah.
Anyone else of you who would like to go shout
I would like to shout out to my friends right there. They went here for me, even though I'm only a substitute. They really supported me throughout
There
this.
we go. An amazing response. Anyone else for going for a shout out? There you go.
Shout out to my girlfriend right there. She gives me inspiration. And shout out to my friends watching the live. Timpura, I love you all. Thank you.
Sana all. Tapos na tayo. Okay, with that being said, once again, your winners for match 4, the CIT-U Wildcats. Thank you so much for that. And of course, we're passing it back in for our casters for our MVP stats and highlights. Casters, take it away.
thank you so much, Astera, for the reintroduction. And that was a really, really great match. The second game had so much thrill into it. It really upped the stakes for CITU, but as characteristic of them, they were able to make the most of the cards that they've been dealt with. And as we can see, Almera, the one-trick Euro main, dominating the second game.
19 kills, 6 assists, 251 average combat score, and you could feel it in this entire game. He was everywhere. In defense, in flanks, in lurks. He was giving so much information with that dimensional drift, and he was able to frag out as well.
Especially with those moments where the momentum kind of slowed down, they were still able to step up for their team and actually give them the opportunity to land another win for the next following rounds.
Yeah, Armera just had so many big rounds. That 3K on A site to keep that winning streak going, and then even in like cases where CITU had little to work with, it was him breathing them life and bringing them back in to a winnable situation. And credit to the rest of the team as well. They really did a phenomenal job playing around Almera. And yeah, a big shout out once again, to add to CITU, a big shout out to Nico Baby. Not being able to play, still recovering from a serious condition, being here, still showing up to support the rest of your team. That's a big plus. That's a big win for CITU.
Hope you recover quickly, man, because we need you back in the game. And now as we take a look at the stats right here, Stein actually stepping up for his team quite a lot. He was able to disrupt certain transitions between the sides, the pivots. He was just able to catch them off guard in places where they don't expect.
Yeah, exactly. But it takes more for a team to win than the brilliance of an individual player. But overall, this second map just really showed how well-rounded this CITU roster is. If some of the other players had an off game, like Jester really didn't have the same value he had during that first game, other members can step up at any other time. Mordred dropped 15, Quincas dropped 16, Orchid dropped 16, Almera dropped 19. This CITU roster is so deep, and mind you, Almera is a substitute.
And this really speaks volumes of how CITU plays their game. They are able to just really work off each other. When one goes down, the system still continues. And in the words of the great Moik, the synergy is there.
Yep. I mean, he couldn't have. There's no better phrase I could have used. The synergy is there for the CITU Wildcats roster, and of course, that is going to be it for us here at the Caster Desk. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am your caster, the caster that keeps adding fuel to your fire, Ferraris, and I'm joined here
with
by
Mr. Fantastical and Radical, and let us
pass it on to our host.
Thank you once again to Ferraris and Radical for their spectacular commentary over at Match 4. Now, ladies, gents, and esports fanatics, let's take a moment to review our current standings. For Match 1, we of course had the USJ-R Jaguars and the USPF Panthers, where both teams clawed in left and right and ended in a draw. For Match 2, face-to-face was the Benedicto College Cheetahs against the UCLM Webmasters, where the Webmasters finally made and spun them in their own web. For Match 3, on the battlefield were the CDU White Stallions against the UC Maine Webmasters, with both of these teams ending on a draw. And of course, once again, for our Match 4, we had the UPC Fighting Maroons going head-to-head with our CITU Wildcats, with the Wildcats taking in and dominating for Match 4. Everyone, once again, a round of applause to all of our teams for Week 3. Now, ladies and gents, let's tune in, of course. Make sure to tune in for Week 4 because we have a lot of things coming in store. First and foremost, for our MLBB side, we'll be seeing the following teams going on clashes. First and foremost, we are going to be having the CITU Wildcats heading against the USC Warriors. Up next, we have the CDU White Stallions going head-to-head with the UC Maine Webmasters. CEC Blue Dragons against the UCLM Webmasters. and the USPF Panthers against the Benedicto College Cheetahs. Once again, everyone, a massive thank you for joining us here on LRAC as well as the stream. Thank you so much for supporting all of our esports student athletes. If you want to catch us up in all of our CL content driveness, what's happening right now, make sure to follow us at all of our social media platforms. We are currently streaming on Puso Pilipinas, Smart Sports, MSL, as well as the Safi Esports League. This has been your loud and proud host, Astera, signing off for Week 3 of the Safi Esports League Season 4. Good night, everyone.